Big Brother. Celebrity Big Brother 2011 about to conclude in just a few days' time, and we now have the ability to vote for who we want to win. Always a seminal moment when we see that vote to win package come up, the end of another Big Brother. And indeed this celebrity series leaving us with Amy, Bobby, Darren, Jedward, Kerry, Lucian and Paddy all up with a chance to win this.
That's more than half the bloody house in the final, isn't it? The last week. Too many people, I think, for a start.
7 people.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
It's never been like this before.
No, that's ridiculous from the get-go. I don't think it's going to be Bobby. Well, so I can tell you that straight away. Don't think it's going to be Darren either. So I'm going to stick with my top 4 from last week. Paddy, Jedward, Kerry. It will be one of the above, I'm sure. Could be a surprise, Amy. Who knows? But I'm going to go safely with one of those.
That's right, the winner about to be decided, and are people picking up the phones in their droves? Are people voting to save Paddy? Are they voting to, win now? Will Amy be successful? Will it be Bobby? I think I could rule out Bobby pretty much immediately there. I think Bobby is going to struggle to get votes to win purely because I'm sure the demographic appreciate the guy. I think if it is a largely perhaps female demographic, then maybe Bobby will pick up a few votes there, but overall I'm sure again he's polarised opinion. Some people probably dislike him for maybe one or two things he's said, but again he's been a friend of Jedward, and you can't say a bad word about Jedward. I wouldn't dare do it.
They seem to have a serious army. It's like the bloody Kiss army, the Jedward fans, in a good way, of course. So maybe with that support, yeah, they could possibly take it. Maybe if they didn't, I would probably say Paddy would probably be a favourite, or my favourite to win.
Also probably going to rule out Darren as being a potential winner of Celebrity Big Brother. I think that would be a tricky thing for him to pull off after these few weeks. He's hardly been the friendliest of characters. He certainly wouldn't have pulled in too many votes to win. Maybe indeed he's going to be the first one out of this 7-person final. Of course, thinking about it though, Jedward in a sense make it even like there are more people involved in that. Will there be any kind of surprise? No, I don't think so. Vote to win seems to be what they're calling out now, so I reckon they're going to stick on that line. So we've eliminated Bobby and Darren from that equation. Looking at maybe Lucian next as being a guy who, he could be the Anthony. He could be the kind of cheeky chap that kind of makes his way all the way to the final and then doesn't win. But do you think he'd be out earlier or later in that run-up?
I think he'd probably have the votes of the young teenage girls and maybe a lot of the young single mothers as well. But I don't think he would have enough votes to win it. I genuinely don't. I think even Kerry would probably come out with more votes than Lucian ever would, to be honest.
I think it's very possible actually that Kerry could be, to me anyway, a surprise winner, certainly a surprise finalist, making it probably, I would say, quite close to the end. I could see it being Kerry versus Jedward at the very, very end. Now, traditionally when that's happened, I look back to maybe other moments in finals where you see someone like a Jedward being pushed, everyone says it's going to be them, and then in the end they don't quite make it. They just lack that support. I think people kind of expect them to win and then in a sense don't pick up the phone to actually help them do it.
I think really with who's left, everybody seems to be living in the Happy Meal house. They all get on well, too well, I think, in fact, and that if Big Brother were clever about this, getting back to the controversy thing, some sort of gimmick that they could roll in there with to create some bit of controversy between the happy housemates and the happy house for the last week would definitely bring a lot of true colours out. Everybody's kind of been so safe and so friendly, and supportive of each other. I think not a twist, but just something that would push the buttons with them, and then I think the public would have a good reason to vote for a winner, as opposed to just voting for what we've seen so far, which has been the safest of safe.
Absolutely. Stenchen House in the chat room, as you can see there on your screen here in justin.tv, says the Jedward fans will vote in droves and they'll walk it. I think most people thinking that they have so many thousands of fans, and I think they've picked up thousands more as well, amazingly. They have really, I think, sold themselves to a whole new audience here. I know they remain consistently popular in Ireland ever since the X Factor, and they sell out shows and stuff like that, but I think in England they still maybe needed to pull in some more and get an even stronger fan base on that side of the sort of Irish Sea. We came to that last week. We didn't know what it was, but they certainly have more fans there now. And like I say, maybe people who've only seen them on Big Brother. It seems impossible that you missed them on X Factor, but without a doubt, Stenchen saying we'll never know how comfortably they'll walk it because they'll never release the percentages. I suppose in a sense, fighting against the obvious winner is what I would often do. I kind of say, is it definitely going to be Cameron? It's been like that since I've never really liked the winner. It's rare that I get a winner I want.
Remember Rachel?
Oh yeah. Have you ever sort of seen a winner win that you've been like, from maybe an early stage, I want this person to win? Or
it's a good question. I can probably honestly say no, from what I can remember.
I've always been disappointed. I've never ever gotten the winner that I want. In this case, picking names from this list, I know I've been worked, but I might say Amy, and I know she's probably, maybe she's not the nicest of person off screen, who knows, but what I've seen anyway in those little edited highlights chunks has been a sweet character, and somebody who, well, I mean, does she need the money? Probably not. I'm sure she'll have plenty of tabloid stuff to do, I think, when she comes out.
Yeah, win or lose, I think she's on that rocket ship, the Jordan rocket ship.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a good point. Is she imitating Jordan?
The similarities, I suppose. What are they known for, really?
Yeah. Of course, two ex-Big Brother people as well now going out, now that you mentioned that. Alex Reid, Jordan's former ex, now going out with Chantel.
Good God almighty.
That's a match made in heaven, I think, for sure. Astro SAS says, Brian Bello, the only time I've supported a winner. And Live Feed says, Bez was a good winner of a past CB. Actually,
that's a fair point.
Yeah,
That's a fair
you'd forget
point.
Bez was in there.
I was thinking strictly non-celebrity.
Yeah, Fluffy says Josie Gibson, best winner ever, and God says you might not get the winners you want, but when you have live feed, you know you have chosen your winner on what you have seen, and that is an important point. You get to make up your own mind. Of course, I forgot all about Bez. He probably is one of the best winners of all time, just because it's the most random, crazy,
good guy,
winner ever. I remember him in there talking about weed and things.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He wanted to get an all smoke in and all that. It was hilarious. He didn't care what he said. But who else is there? You've got Amy, as I said, who, again, if I said who I wanted to win, I mean, I might actually say Amy. Out of all these names, I definitely wouldn't say Paddy. I don't get Paddy support myself. I think he's very much like a Steve from Big Brother 11. He does have a bit of input, maybe more than Steve, but ultimately he does kind of sit there and not do a hell of a lot, at least what we've seen of the guy anyway,
Yeah, well, I think when you asked who do you think would win, I would say him. Don't know if I would like him or he would be my favourite. I think I would have picked Tara to be my favourite to win, but she's gone now, so that's not going to happen really.
Yeah, I still think it's very possible, this whole Paddy winning thing, and it might be the shock surprise. Again, I do kind of buy the argument that Jedward have just too many fans. And these are fans that are going to not ask the bill payers permission. They're going to pick up the phone and they're going to ring it 500 times. I mean, as a super fan when you're a kid, I mean, you're going to support them in any way possible. And of course as well, Jedward really good workers, in the sense that you hear them always saying, we love Jedward fans, you know.
Yeah.
It's like they constantly appeal to them.
They have it turned on constantly, yeah, they really do. It's very rare you see him break out of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just glimpses into it and then it's gone again. You know, it's at least we get to see some bit of it, I suppose, in the 1 hour rundown. I'd like to see a hell of a lot more though.
You know, if I was ever going to create some kind of a pop act like that, the model to do it is Jedward.
Yeah.
I mean, just any fan that comes near you, photos, you know, I invite them for photos. Don't wait for them to ask you. I can imagine that's the kind of thing that Jedward do. You know, if they meet fans in the middle of the street, grab them. They're another person who's going to buy your album.
Sometimes though, I think from watching this season, they are either very, very smart guys, the two of them. I genuinely believe they are. Or they had some serious coaching tips before they went into that house, because literally they don't miss a beat. And I think not only that, they are appealing to so many different demographics constantly. Whether you see it or not, they've got all bases covered. I'm not going to go in depth, but you know, I think you can see yourself with that one. But they really, I mean, they've got it just nailed down, Loctite.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I think one of the things that you could kind of say has steered the talk about Big Brother has been the Jedward fans, whether it be them asking for live feed, whether it's them sort of supporting their favourite act, or indeed whether or not we've said anything bad about Jedward, because I think in general the press have been very supportive, because you don't want that Jedward backlash. If we invited a Jedward backlash here, if we spent 40 minutes giving out about Jedward, about what they've done, which to be honest I can't do, because I do find it mildly entertaining, we would soon hear from those fans. But that's another place to take it, because Jedward have been quoted in the press, the Irish press, at least been talked about by the papers here. And in a sense, they're complaining. They're actually saying that the producers are showing them in a bad light.
The Irish press.
The Irish press have been saying this, and they want to know why. But to be honest with you, I think it's Jedward have done it all themselves.
Yeah. They're not shy.
How could you edit them?
I know, they're not shy, I'll tell you. And I just think they're being themselves. I just genuinely think that's how they are. Maybe turned up a couple of notches, without doubt. I think as well, maybe it's when they get into that... it's almost like the lights go on, or the switch, Jedward switch goes on when they get into those gimmick matching suits every day, you know. And maybe that's it. They just become the character.
That's it. The clothes, everything. They are certainly an act you won't miss. If you see them on the street, I'm sure you'll recognise them. And I think from this point forward, they're going to have an even bigger fan base, that's for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see if maybe Christmas #1 is calling for them. I know, as somebody said, I think on the bit on the side, it's not really about the music at all. No one really knows what the music is.
Well, all I know is the Eurovision bloody song, but
yeah.
Catchy little number. Just to clarify there, I think somebody asking why do Jedward need coaching. I think what I was trying to get across was that before they went into the house, I'm sure if the case is that they're not as smart as I think they are, then somebody gave them some serious tips on, you know, if you can cover this, you'll get those fans. If you can appeal to this and do this, you're going to get those fans. Keep your own fans happy. Keep this crowd happy across the board. That's what I was trying to